Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. It's yours truly, the Minister, Jonathan Simmons. And I'm very thankful to those of you who decided to tune in on the broadcast here. If you're watching live, of course, it's a Saturday morning, the last day of February. And even though it's a little rainy here in metro Atlanta, thankfully the weather and climate are very temperate. We're looking at about mid to high 60s today, and possibly tomorrow going as high as the 70s. So we're thankful. I know we tell them fucks the painty, Phil, whatever the groundhog is that said we're going to have a long winter or more days of winter. I don't care. I'm excited that right now we got some warm weather cooking here because, like I said, the older I get, the more my joints and my bones like warm weather. So again, we are appreciative, and we're thanking the Lord for helping us out with the weather. Uh, hey, sports update. What's going on? You know what we like to do: talk to you about things that are going on here in Metro Atlanta, and always Atlanta continues to find ways to get in the news in interesting ways. And so we're talking a little bit about that today. Falcons continuing to struggle as they try to reboot and restart their franchise and finally get into some winning ways. A couple of things came out for the Falcons. Neither one of the reports necessarily the best as far as looking at this team. So we're going to get right to it. First of all, Lord have mercy. Falcons just hired an assistant coach for the defensive line. Highly touted young man out of University of Michigan. That's where he had applied his trade initially. LaTroy Lewis. I'm gonna read you the headlines from ESPN. It says Falcons assistant LaTroy Lewis fired amid sexual assault allegations. Now I gotta get my glasses on here so I can read this. So bear with me, folks. Let's go ahead and grab my glasses so I can see better these headlines. I gotta find them here. I know they're here somewhere. Oh, here we go. Here's my spectacles right now. Let's go ahead and read this here. It says Atlanta Falcons dismissed LaTroy Lewis from his role as assistant defensive line coach Friday after sexual assault allegations surfaced against him, the team announced. The Ann Arbor Police Department confirmed Friday to ESPN that is currently investigating allegations of sexual assault against Lewis. This, according to spokesperson Chris Page. It said that Ann Arbor PD was just recently made aware, put a pin in that, of the woman's allegations, which stemmed from a December 6, 2024 incident while Lewis was still on the Michigan football staff. Okay, first of all, we don't want to be in any way besmirch or take away from the seriousness of these allegations. I am what they call today a girl dad. I have a daughter who's 47 years old. And so certainly, that would be a problem if in fact we had a situation where my daughter had been, assaulted by, a coach or anybody for that matter. The thing, I guess, that's always troubling about these things is that, okay, we're now in February of 2026, and this alleged assault happened in July of 2024. So a couple of questions that I have here in this situation. I'm going to read some of the comments from the lady's attorney. And this is what it says. It says she told ESPN that her client filed an incident report with the Ann Arbor PD and applied for a protective order against Lewis earlier this week. It said that the lawyer goes on to say that her client and Lewis met on a dating app and started communicating in July 2024 while Lewis was an assistant defensive line coach at Michigan. Lewis's behavior became increasingly aggressive over text and phone calls, according to the complainee's lawyer. And said two met in person at the first time at Weber's Hotel in Ann Arbor in December 2024, where Truslowski, and that's the lawyer, said Lewis was supposed to give back goods her client had given him, according to the attorney. Lewis raped and battered her client at the hotel. Okay, so there's a couple of things here that kind of hit me kind of funny about this story. And again, I'm not in any way kind of besmirching what has happened to this young lady, and hopefully and prayerfully, this all gets worked out. But a couple of things that always are troublesome about these situations. Number one, it's taken almost a year for the allegations to surface. Okay, and that in fact this incident happened, but it's only recently, according to what I read, that she filed this report against this individual. Okay, I'm gonna read it again. It says Karen Truslowski, the woman's attorney, told ESPN that her client filed an incident report with the NRPD and applied for protective order against Lewis earlier this week. Now, again, I don't know what's transpired. I don't know whether she initially said, "Hey, I'm not going to really pursue this." I'm not sure why it took, like you said, over a year for this all to hit the fan. But it's just odd that right after this guy gets selected to be an assistant coach for the Falcons, that all of a sudden this hits the fan. It's just strange. The other thing too is if a person, again, I'm not trying to be a bad guy. I'm just trying to use some common sense here. If a person had misconducted himself towards you already, a couple of things are a question mark for me. Why would you meet him in a hotel? I'm just saying now. I'm trying to be sensible. Why would you meet a person who you had any suspect that they were going to misconduct themselves at a hotel? I'm thinking you're going to meet them in a public place. Okay, not a hotel, and especially not in a hotel room. If the person has already showed that they've been aggressive, why would you go to a hotel room with the person? I don't see. This is to me the kind of things that don't make any sense to me. I'm thinking, hey, if somebody's up to some mischief, or even I suspect up to mischief, we're gonna meet in someplace public. We're gonna meet at McDonald's. We're gonna meet at Starbucks. We're gonna meet someplace that has some cameras. Okay, I'm gonna have my cell phone on, hidden somewhere like they do in the little TV movies. But I'm not gonna go. I'm speaking again. Even as a guy, I'm not going to some place where you're gonna get me in some kind of room where no cameras, no nothing, and anything can go down. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just saying, from a common sense point of view, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm just saying. The other thing too is the timing of it, of the whole thing. And the other thing I gotta say to myself here is what was going on at the University of Michigan. Because remember now, it was during about this same time, the head coach from Michigan, also Mr. I want to say, I think his name was Shimon Moore. I think it was. Let me see if I can find his information. See if I can get it. Coach um, at Michigan. I'm just doing a little Google searching here. Let me see if I got it right here. Yeah, Sharon Moore. Okay, he was the head coach at Michigan during the same time, and what was going on? And so I got to tell you something, guys. So you see here, I'm a brown skinned man. I got melanin in my skin, and when I see this kind of stuff that happens, I can only say two things. Number one, therefore, for the grace of God go I, because we all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, and we all can be tempted beyond measure and do something dumb. And if you don't believe me, folks, this is how life works. As a human being, all you have to do is have the right or wrong sequence of events, and you can go to the left or to the right. You can do something really good or do something really bad. All it takes is just a couple of events to kind of all synchronize themselves, and bam, you got a situation. So I guess, again, my question is, what were these guys thinking? I mean, what on earth was going on in Michigan, where you got two coaches involved in a scandal? One coach, like you said, the head coach, was allegedly dating, was involved with one of the staff members for a minute, and allegedly people at the university knew and let it go. See, I'm going to say something here for a second. I'm going to talk about this towards the end of the show, but see, this is one of the problems that is happening now in the world of sports and in life in general. In business, you see it in our churches. You really see it everywhere, that people are misconducting themselves, and because they are popular, because they are making money for said program, said organization, people are letting stuff go. And there's no real integrity, there's no accountability. Or I should say, there's not the same accountability we had in times past, or maybe just it was things were being covered even worse than this. Maybe because the internet and because of social media, things are being uncovered quicker. You can't hide them so much. But it seems to me to be an increase of misconduct that's being covered up by people in positions of authority because said individuals are able to make money. And anyway, all that being said, um, bad news for the Falcons. The other part of the bad news is for the Falcons, they got a poor grade. Every year, the NFLPA does a survey of players. It's called the NFLPA report card. And in the 2026 report card, the thing that was kind of bizarre is that the Falcons have recently, as we know, turned over their whole entire staff. Everybody's out. Interestingly enough, though, the players gave the following grades. And again, this is for last year's season. I'm going to read the grade that the Falcons received. Treatment of families. I'm going to read the high grades first. Treatment of families, B+. Food and dining area. Now, we know we need ATL. We can eat, A-. Nutritionist and dietitian, an A. Remember, we know about food. Training room, A-. Falcons just recently had revamped their whole facility a couple of years ago after getting actually some bad grades by this NFLPA survey. Weight room, A. Strength coaches, A. Now, here's defensive coordinator. We all know about him, Jeff Ulbrich. Falcons set a record for sacks for a Falcons team. He gets an A. Team travel, B+. Mr. Blank, team ownership, which a lot of people, even sometimes myself, kind of threw off on the guy, an A. Now, here's where it gets kind of goofy. Remember now, they got rid of the entire coaching staff for the most part, except for Jeff Ulbrich, who got an A. Got rid of the general manager. This is what it says about the coaching staff. They got a B. Okay, some not right. Position coaches, B+. Okay. Head coach, the guy we just fired, a B+. They fired him. Even though the team said, hey, this guy's straight with us. Interestingly enough, remember we talked a lot about the offensive coordinator? Zach Robinson, evidently the players thought the same way. Offensive coordinator, C-, even though he's recently been hired by another team, Tampa Bay. So now you got to say to yourself, okay, another thing got C-, which talked about a lot. The glorious, spectacular Mercedes-Benz Stadium, C- because the guys hate the turf. What's shocking about that is that they got rid of everybody. And meanwhile, that coach, the new head coach, came from the Cleveland Browns. Let's take a look at what his rank was. Head coach, C-. Also, offensive coordinator, who he brought with him to Atlanta, he got a D+. So let's see if we can take a look again at the Falcons recap for the week. They get the defensive line coach is about to be arrested under charges of rape. And the new head coach and offense coordinator just brought in was given grades of a C- and a D by the team he just left. Now, again, I grant you some of that stuff can be around the whole Shedeur Sanders situation, but still, man, it's a bad look. Only Atlanta. Or I should say only Atlanta. Anyway, we're going to take a little break here because, as you can see here, I'm in the offices of Allen Vigil Ford in Lincoln. I'm in the commercial sales department where I work, and want to give a big shout out to Allen Vigil Ford. And as a matter of fact, if you guys need a car, well, listen to the commercial. We'll be right back.
Looking for a vehicle? Come to Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We're a family-owned dealership that's been serving the Atlanta area for over 40 years, offering an unbeatable selection of new Fords, Lincolns, and pre-owned vehicles. Enjoy our exceptional customer service and great financing options tailored just for you. Visit us at 6790 Mount Zion Boulevard in Morrow, Georgia, located just 20 minutes from downtown Atlanta. Call us at 678-364-3979 or visit online at alanvigilford.net.
Congratulations. What do you think? Is it worth the wait, buddy?
I love it. I can't wait to get on the road with it.
Listen, man, thank you very much, and congratulations to you. Appreciate your business.
Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate your business.
Thank you, Ron. Congratulations, Amici, on your new F-250 that you got from us. How was the experience here at Allen Vigil Ford?
Thank you so much, Jonathan, man. I appreciate everything you did for me, man. This is awesome right here. And you did, I mean,
There we go. Mike's unmuted. Like I said, you saw there our commercial for Allen Vigil Ford, and you saw testimonies from not one, but two different clients that bought their vehicles from yours truly, Jonathan Simmons. So again, if you're looking for a car, on the serious end, for yourself or for your family or even for your business, hey man, give me a call, 678-364-3979. We'd love to be of assistance to you. We have a plethora of vehicles here on the ground, brand new Fords, brand new Lincolns, and we have a bunch of pre-owned vehicles as well of every make and model. So again, there it is on the screen for those of you watching it right there, 678-364-3979. Hit me up, and we would love to take care of you or your familia, whatever their automobile needs might be. All right. You notice that my client there at the end of that commercial was wearing his official Hawks garment. So let's shift to the good news of what's been happening here with sports in Atlanta. The Atlanta Hawks have won 3 straight games, and they find themselves just 1 game under 500. And once again, they have been, this surge has been driven by the newest Hawks. Anse Saleh, I think I got his name pronounced properly. The GM from Atlanta has been cooking in the weeks leading up and right up through the All-Star break as he configured and reconfigured this team to try to not only win today, but as he said, build a foundation where the Hawks can be a consistent winner well into the future. And he's really made some great strides. Now, one of the things that the Hawks, this is almost like deja vu all over again. The last time the Hawks made a run and were relevant, what they did was they brought in a guy who had been part of the general manager executive team for the Golden State Warriors right in the midst of their championship run. Travis Slink, and he brought Slink in. He made some moves, and the Hawks suddenly were playoff contenders, and really an exciting team to watch. And like I said, got Atlanta back on the map. Eventually, they drafted Trae Young, and Trae took them to the NBA playoffs in his second or third year with the team. And then, of course, things kind of went off the rails. So they brought in Mr. Anse Saleh, again from Golden State. And like I say again, this year, this guy has worked his magic. He's brought in multiple players that were languishing on the bench of their teams that he got them from, and then immediately came in here and made an impact here in Atlanta. And the guy that's made a humongous impact these last 2 games is the guy he just brought in from Golden State. And I'm talking about the one and only, my namesake, Jonathan Kuminga. Kuminga came in his first game here with Atlanta. He was must-see TV. For those of you, again, watching, you can see his stat line up there. His first game in Atlanta, 27 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 9 of 12 from the floor, including some ferocious dunks. As you can see by that big smile on his face, that's the other thing social media has been talking about. The guy has been a grin. It's been a grin festival since he's been here. And one of his former teammates just tweeted out, all in caps, freedom. And that's basically what's happened. The Hawks have taken a guy that was kind of languishing on the bench for Golden State, and he has come in here and he has been, like I said again, must-see TV. And again, it's very short, small sample size, and against an inferior team like the Washington Wizards. But clearly, Saleh has gotten a guy in that is really a steal. Because here's the thing, we look at this and we're thinking, I just mentioned, hey, languishing on the bench. But at the end of the day, I went back and did some back checking on Mr. Kuminga and find out this guy is no amateur. All right. First of all, he was a top 10 pick when he was picked up by the Warriors. Second of all, even though he's only 23 years old, He's been in the league for like 5 years. Okay. And he had 2 back-to-back years where he really put up some significant numbers. Let me go ahead and do a deep dive here for you a second here. Look at his stats when he was playing for the Golden State Warriors, and it looked like he was going to take the next step. I don't know if he was necessarily replacing Draymond Green, but certainly a guy that would be ever apparent once Green finally retired. Like I said, I'd never heard of the guy. I really did not. I mean, he just wasn't on my radar. But I'm gonna let you read something here. I'm gonna read something for you. Okay, his first 2 years, nothing too much to be excited about. 19 and 20 years old. He averaged 9.3 points a game in his first year and only got it up a tick to 9.9 points a game in year number 2. But in the 2023-2024 season, he got on the map. Now, in 74 games, this is not a short sample size, and 46 starts, we had a situation that this guy averaged 16.1 points a game, and his next year, 15.3 points a game. Now, his following year's kind of tapered off his numbers a little bit, dropped down to 13 points a game. But so here's a guy that for the Golden State Warriors was in the teens year after year. So the Hawks got themselves a steal. And remember, I told you guys, he's only 23 years old. So this guy's going to be a huge factor for the Hawks going forward. So, yeah, just keep your eyes on what this Hawks team is doing. Another guy they picked up, languishing on the bench, part of the trade for Trae Young for the Washington Wizards. If you remember, everybody knows about the fact they got C.J. McCollum, who's been balling out. Guys, really, if he played the whole year for the Hawks, he'd probably be a candidate for Sixth Man of the Year. But the unknown or unsung hero of that was Corey Kispert. Now, like, who? Corey Kispert? Well, just the other night, he had his all-time high as a player in the NBA, 33 points the other night, again, against a bad Wizard team, but still, 33 points, 7 3-pointers. I tell you, by watching this guy, he looks like Cal Covert 2.0. Big, thick, 6'8", about 225 pounds, not the fastest guy in the world, but he's got that quick trigger and can catch and shoot the three-pointers amongst the best of them. So the Hawks really are building a team that I think is going to be a team that could be a serious contender in the East. And I still think they're a little light in the backside. They don't really have a real true center or rim protector. And, you know, sometimes you get in the postseason when the game slows down a little bit, you need that. But overall, if this team can coalesce on the fact they have a young core, Jalen Johnson young, Dyson Daniels young, Onyeka Okongwu young, maybe Mr. Alicia Shea, the #1 overall pick a couple of years ago, he might kind of pan out right now. He doesn't look so good, but again, he's young. He needs to get a little bulk, I think. But they have a young nucleus that they can build upon and allow this team to be a continual contender in the East and possibly, like I say again, all it takes is for things to kind of click the right way and the right time, be a contender for an NBA championship. And you was thinking, nah, man, look at the guys like that they have over there with SGA. We got SGA's cousin, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and he's averaging about 18 points a game or very close to it for the Hawks. So again, this Hawks team, man, is well balanced. Let's go to social media and take a peek at what's cooking out there. Well, we got somebody making fun of me. We got Mr. Camden Teddy saying blah, 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 blah. Wait a minute, brother. You can come and do your own podcast. I really don't care. At the end of the day, we thank you just for watching. And we thank you, Mr. Kefir Khan, if he's still on #2. I'm not sure where he's from. Oh, he's trying to give me a proper spelling of maybe Saleh's name, the GM for the Hawks. I'm not sure. But anyway, like I say again, guys, we just appreciate what's going on here in Atlanta. And I think the Hawks are slowly but surely building themselves into a team that can really be not only a fun team to watch, I mean, because everybody wants to go and be entertained. And speaking of that, just let me digress for a second before I wrap it up with the Hawks. The Hawks are a very interesting team. Their main PR guy is a guy by the name of Steve Koonin, and he was a young wonderkind with both Pepsi and other organizations as far as marketing. He put together some memorable marketing campaigns in the 90s. And so the Hawks brought him in, and the Hawks have been consistently voted one of the NBA's both best in-game entertainment. But I will tell you, the Hawks from time to time, did the preacher feel some kind of way? Because they oftentimes appeal to, I understand it's entertainment, but really, like I say again, stuff that's a little edgy. The Hawks decided a couple years ago that they would have a Tinder night. Now, for those of you not familiar with Tinder, which I was not, Tinder was a dating app, dating site, where basically it was almost like a hookup site. And Hawks decided that they would have a night where you could kind of, match up with through Tinder at the game. And, there was some good results. There was actually a couple that got married from that. So I guess it's not the end of the world, but I mean, hookup site, I don't know. And now they're once again breaking all barriers. They're going to have a night to celebrate Magic City. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Magic City, it is I don't know if I'll use this word right. It's a legendary strip club, or aka gentleman's club. And matter of fact, it now is a TV series called Magic City, or maybe a movie, An American Fantasy. I mean, and they say that's part of the culture. That's this culture of misbehavior. I mean, I get it. Like I said, I was a young guy, a teenager. We're in New York, not too far from me. They had Studio 54, legendary people doing cocaine, all kind of sexual misconduct. As a matter of fact, Magic City was even referred to at some point as the Black Studio 54. So I guess now that I'm older and a preacher, I'm like, why are we celebrating sinful behavior? I get it existed. I get it was well known, but why do we celebrate sinful behavior? And why do we encourage this? And here's the thing that's so funny about it, is that this game, the ticket prices went from averaging around just under $20 a ticket to almost $90 a ticket. Why? Because if you go to the game, you'll get your official Magic City sweatshirt, which, by the way, now is known for legendary female dancers, but also known for their lemon pepper wings. All right, guys. I heard the bell. It's time for us to go. We're 11 o'clock. Before I go, speaking of misbehavior, I'm going to just remind you that we're not here on this earth permanently. And if you want to go to that wonderful, spectacular place called heaven, this is the big key. You need to repent of your sins, believe in Jesus Christ, that he died for your sins and rose from the dead. If you believe in that, two great things happen. Number one, you become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. And number two, an adopted child of God with all the rights therein. And when you die, you go to that wonderful, spectacular, beautiful place called heaven and avoid that nasty place called hell. I don't know about you, but I like option number one instead of option number two. All right, everybody, until the next time we get back together again, we simply say God bless you and have a wonderful rest of the day or evening, whichever may apply. So long and take care. See you.